Similarly, it would also be asserted in respect to the animal mutilations in America, whereby the related far-fetched feeble-mindedness that namely beef blood demonstrates a genetic relationship with human blood. Therefore the mutilated cattle would have their blood sucked out to store in the blood banks for crisis times, naturally through the evil extraterrestrials. Yet even that is not enough, because still many other assertions, slanderings and lies, and clearly to be recognized as feeble-minded, are put about, through which the humans are led into error and would be shifted into angst and terror, as has had manifold success, and certain mass hysteria has been released by a worldwide group of certain Earth humans, which also leads to feelings of hate, etc. What there is yet to say to the government, military and secret service people and all reading on nonsense bordering on idiocy, and out of the sight of the rational human understanding of everything, may be said with the words of renowned and experienced UFO researcher and Les Magazine 2000 greater commentator, Michael Hessman, who, together with Ingrid Schlotterbeck, in Les Magazine 2000 greater editorial no. 6/1996, October/November, writes the following. The U.S. government, so asserts for example the ex-Marine officer William Cooper, has made an evil bargain with the extraterrestrials, space technology in exchange for land and humans. At the start of the 70s one first comprehended just how devilish the visitors really are, and only since Ronald Reagan would one react, building the Star Wars system as defense for Earth and humanity against sinister extraterrestrials. A clear message lies behind it: how good that we have the military which is powerfully armed to defy the evil aliens. So the arms race towards the end of the Cold War still had its sense and purpose, and even this message is conveyed by a film that explodes all box office records. The already now most successful film of all time is called Independence Day, the alien apocalypse of the Schwab Southwest German, Roland Emmerich. And it concerns itself naturally with the salvation of the best of all possible worlds, the USA, which is threatened by the space devils. But all these horror scenarios have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with reality. One almost attempts to establish an AADL, an Alien Anti-Defamation League, because in the annals of UFO research there has not been one authentic, that means thoroughly investigated and determined to be genuine, case asterisk that points to an aggressive behavior or hostile intentions of extraterrestrials. So to go straight to the most frequent objection, yes, the abductions are perceived as traumatic by many victims. That has different reasons. The entire situation is frightening. The fear of the unknown, medical procedures that are sometimes also painful, the complete lack of emotions of the visitor, the feeling of being helplessly extradited, their utter alienness that is often interpreted as ugliness. We do not know why the abductions take place, whether out of scientific curiosity or, as many victims would explain, in order to establish a data bank of humanity in case we destroy the Earth. Now medical examinations on the Earth are also often painful. Many abductees have the feeling they are unconscious or are called to duty in the previous life and draw use out of this expansion of their consciousness. Clearly, the abductors are therefore in no way negative. Yes, airplanes have crashed that have chased UFOs, but that has various reasons. One pilot hunted after a UFO so long that he ran out of fuel. Another attained too great an altitude, becoming unconsciousness. Again, in other cases the interceptor received an order to fire, but its automatic weapon receded. In one case already diffused rockets exploded when still in the jet. The aggressor was killed by his own weapons, but not by the visitor. There was a case in Brazil in which a farmer shot at a landed UFO. He was struck by a ray which paralyzed him for an hour. He could subsequently move normally. Yes, there are humans who have come very close to UFOs and have suffered radiation damage. But those are cases that can clearly be classified as accidents. On the other hand, terrestrial militaries have fired on UFOs all too often, and in some cases even shot them down. There never was an act of retaliation, as is usual on Earth. Just compare the ghastliest descriptions of alleged UFO witnesses with that which we do to other creatures or even our fellow humans. How have we, as we landed in America, behaved with the technologically inferior Indians? How many Africans did we drag off into lifelong slavery? Didn't the Bosnians previously reciprocally massacre their own next-door neighbors? To which bloodbath does a tribal feud lead in Rwanda? Or think of the acts of horror in the Soviet Gulag or in Red China. Who now says they are merely the others? Then be asked, was not the death factory of Auschwitz a German invention? And exactly that indicates which mechanism stands behind the alien panic. We measure them with our rulers. We project our behavior pattern onto them. We fear that they will deal in precisely the same way that we would deal with technologically inferior peoples and other living beings. They are our projection screen, our mirror image. If extraterrestrials wanted to rule Earth, they would have long since done so. They certainly would not have waited until we improved our defense systems. In reality, we are the aggressors, those who greet the friendly visitors with hunter-interceptors and our xenophobia, fear of strangers, through putting out ex-racist propaganda films, like Independence Day, as the expression imparts. Note from Billy. The question about these demonizing efforts against the extraterrestrials is whether the American government, military and Secret Service type machinations are behind it, as with War of the Worlds from Orson Welles, in order to newly stir up, and this time in worldwide mass, angst, panic and hate in respect of the visitors from foreign worlds. And their answer, messages of concern about our behavior. Thereover, that we destroy our unique home planets. According to the ethical measures of Buddhism, the Bodhisattva qualities apply to today. A Bodhisattva is one who has long achieved enlightenment, but has sworn to reincarnate until the last living being is redeemed. One recognizes two qualities in him, wisdom and empathy, and thereby, that he lives, ahimsa, non-violence. That means that he has renounced the practice of retribution. Tata says, your article is good and all clarifications conform to the truth. The explanations from Michael Hessman and Ingrid Schlotterbeck are also to the point. Billy says, do you therefore mean that I can publish the article like that? Tata says, that is my meaning, yes.